Hey, I was waiting for that part right there. Hey, oh, hey, Robbie. Oh, see, that's why I like doing that too.
Lisa. Lisa and Cult Jam were my favorite artists of the 80s, so I really do like saying Lisa.
You know, it's so funny. I feel like the more I hear people say Lisa, 3 times, it's almost like magic. It's like magical words. It's like magic to me.
Right. Uh-oh, I'm trying background noise. Sorry about that.
Yeah, this is like magic. All right, so it is Sunday, and we have an amazing topic for you. Yes, we've missed you, but nevertheless, we're always working on some good stuff. And this is building up to that time. Yes, it's February. We said the Spirit of Business mini course is launching this month. Right? Just so you know, we actually haven't gone in and removed the, maybe it's expired. The code you still can use and activate it if you like, but at some point it's going to disappear. It's going to disappear. Make sure you say hi, say hello, drop a comment in the comments below. And if you're new to us, welcome to the Spirit of Business show with Robbie.
Hey.
And I don't know, see, because I can't say I'm looking for the screen, but I'm just going to do this. Which side you're on?
I'm on the right.
Wakanda, there it is. And myself, Lisa Puerto. So Robbie, human coder, founder of True Alchemy, and myself, Lisa Puerto. When I wear this hat, I'm going to come at you as a clairvoyant entrepreneur. Most of you know me or who are learning of me also by my federal registered trademark super agent. So I'm all creation, all things fun, business. I'm just having fun. We want you to have fun.
Absolutely.
And make money while you do it.
Hey, I just want to say, hey, we got Wendy and Son of Man. Hello. Thank you guys for listening, joining us. I'm going to adjust my volume a bit. I think I had an echo. So, Lisa.
I'm taking your lead on this, sis.
Hey, Johnny, peace. Okay, y'all know. Okay, let me just tell you how I never really know what we're going to talk about until life hands me a situation. Life hands me an opportunity to grow. And it's like, oh, hey, there's your content. So today we are talking about filthy business, okay? Bringing your raw nature to your business. And this topic to me is so juicy. It's so juicy because it is really all about not only tapping into your power, but feeling your power and using that feeling and that knowing of your power. And I'm talking about your raw power to really be able to leverage yourself in business. Okay. And I say that, I had an opportunity. I always have opportunities to experience these lessons in my real life, in my own business. And Lisa and I were just talking about how today or this week, I made a new commitment to bringing in and owning in more of my raw power. Okay. And it's something that I've been working on all throughout the week in my own personal magic. And as I started to make this commitment and as I started to feel this new resurgence of power being generated within me, I started to get these manifestations and things show up in my life. So that's where we're headed with this today. Lisa, I know you probably got a little bit of housekeeping to do before we really get into it. So
I'm glad you said that because I actually was going to do that real quick. So for those of you who just joined on, this is all positive vibes. This is a safe space. Be sure you tag someone, share someone. Again, we'll drop the link in the caption, spiritofbusinesscourse.com. This is for those of you who are looking to activate your gifts and really monetizing that in the form of currency. There's that thing called spiritual currency. When it comes from that space, it's much more fun. It's easier. Last segment, I got a coin Rabe. She said, we're not effort whores. There it is. We're not effort whores, which means, removing words like I'm trying, I'm trying to work out. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to make this money. I'm trying to start my business. I'm trying to get my logo. I'm trying to do my website. Cut all that out. Stop with the trying and just do it. And, no pun intended on or trademark infringement on using that from Nike, but
really, just do it.
Yeah,
just do it.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm excited about the course, though, Lisa. We're getting really, really close to the launch date. Things are really, really crystallizing, and the more that I see it coming together, the happier and more excited I am for what we're going to be offering the people. This is for a specific type of entrepreneur. Is for the entrepreneur that is really, really tired of doing things the old way. It's for the entrepreneur that is really looking to find more of their own authentic voice and bring it into their business, that is looking to bring more fun into their business, more ease, more grace, more play, more authenticity, more passion. And really looking to really just tap into and expound on their gifts. So, I always say it's not for everybody. We do have some qualifiers. And if any of those criteria fit you and where you are in your business, I encourage you to join us, the Spirit of Business course, spiritofbusinesscourse.com. And there's just some really powerful things being put into that pot that we stir together. I love it. I love it
too. It's so funny. Okay, so behind the scenes, just real quick, I'll share with you, because we in content creation and giving you tangibles. So tangibles are also known as opt-ins. These are good keywords, especially as you're learning and listening, right? You want to see how to do something. Pay attention to those that are doing it. Very easy. So I was working on some of the copyright, also known as IE content, right? I was thinking to myself as I sent it over to Rob, I was like, yo, I want to sign up for this course. And it's funny because I am the co-creator with Rob with the course. And I'm like, yo, I feel like I want to sign up for this course. And really what I'm saying is it's going to be a great reminder and refresher, right? Because the best way to know that you know how to do something is your ability to teach it.
Absolutely. I am going to sign up for the course. I'm so looking forward to learning some of these really tactical things that you're going to be teaching us, because like I said, you are the master of action and so y'all going to get both sides of this. So, okay, I'm ready to get into this today, Lisa.
Yes, let's do it. Go ahead. I'm still sharing, by the way. I've got many groups. Shout out to all the groups that I'm a part of. Thank you. Also, the show actually replays on radio podcasts in the YouTube channels. Both Ra and I have our channels. So if you missed today's episode or you just chimed in late, please, if you're on Facebook Live, use hashtag replay so we know you're on, because then it bumps it up to the timeline. We know you're there and we can engage with you, right? And also, I think that's it. And like I said, I am sharing it to my groups. I'm part of over 80 groups. Thank you for all of those who have added me to your groups. This is what you're going to get. This is what happened.
All right. Okay. So let's get into it. We are talking today about filthy business. When I say filthy business, what I want to know, I want to gauge you. I want to gauge the audience. I want to know what that word, what kind of connotation that brings up. Because to me, yeah, let me hear what you got to say.
No. Go ahead. To you, I'm digesting that.
Well, to me, okay, I see a lot of programs that are geared towards women in particular. And they have a lot of things talking about, tapping into your divine femininity. This is where your power is, your sexual energy, using that. And then I see a lot of people that use this energy in their imagery and in their marketing, but they're doing it in a way, to me, that kind of takes power away. It doesn't really get to the heart of what I think some of these messages are trying to portray. So when you hear filthy business, or when you think about your raw nature in business, what's your raw superpower, Lisa?
She put me on the spot, Rashida. You see that? Rashida's like, Stevens. She's put me on the spot. What is my raw superpower? Ooh, I feel like because I have so much, for me, my raw comes in my bluntness, and and I don't sugarcoat, not even with my 7-year-old that's sitting 5 feet from me.
Okay.
And when as you're sharing filthy business, two things one thing that popped in my mind goes oxymoron, right?
Mm-hmm.
I say oxymoron. These two words, you wouldn't equate filthy business together, typically, but then you start to think, oh, this has a negative connotation, right? It's like, oh no, what do you mean filthy business? And then when you go raw, you start thinking taboo.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I start thinking what makes me me, my superpower, right? Is because I have the audacity to call myself super agent and wear some spandex with my little 5'2" power back, not with the slightest concern of what other people might think of me, my body, what message that might send off, right? Because I'm like, that has to do with your mindset. I know where my mindset is. I know what my message is. I know what I'm doing this for. Yes, so for me, it's the audacity to wear my brand, right? Literally, at Kate, spandex, and boots. Super agent. I do that live.
Right. So very good, Lisa, because one thing that you have clearly demonstrated through your bold audacity is that by reclaiming that part of yourself and claiming ownership of it and saying, this is the power. Hey, I'm in spandex. I'm sexy. I'm powerful. I'm a freaking hero. You are going to not only you're going to respect me in this by sheer nature, but not only did you do that, it's a certain element of charisma. It's a certain element of connection and passion. And you were able to really display a little bit of vulnerability in that makes people want to connect with you. So today we're talking about what makes up all those elements, passion, of your charisma, of your power. You know it when somebody comes on and somebody's talking to you and they are reciting some information that is not their own, that does not resonate with them, and they just really trying to just get it out there, and you don't have any kind of connection with what they're saying. You don't have a connection with what they're selling you, and you're like, can we just hurry up and get this over with? Versus someone who has lived their experience, owned their experience, trained their pain, leveraged that pain into a voice and into a story, and tapped into something very, very, very raw and giving it to you raw, uncut. Those are the people that you're ready to put your money down on and say, let me buy it. So today we're going to talk about some of the elements that create or that lend you more able to tap into that power.
Take notes, y'all. Every Sunday, I know we missed the last one. However, this right here just makes up for that. I'm so serious. I'm so serious. You're not going to get this. You're not going to get this. Who is doing this on Facebook? Nobody.
But you know what? They will be tomorrow. I know this. That's okay, though.
It's totally fine. Right.
All right. So let's talk about this because you guys know I'm the human coder. I work with energy. I work in chakras a lot. So we are going to be focusing today a lot on the sacral chakra. And when you really think about some of the topics that we brought to you thus far, we've spent a little bit of time in the sacral chakra. We talked about training your parents, talked about being open and being vulnerable. And that's one side of the sacral chakra. Okay. But there's a totally opposite side of it that is when you are able to use that vulnerability and, like I said, turn it into something powerful and a powerful expression. So today we're going to talk about, number one, I want to look at your needs. Okay. And I want to look at this from a standpoint of when you set your goals for business, and everybody who's on the line, if you have a business, if you're thinking about starting a business, I want you to type one goal that you have for your business, okay? And when I did this exercise for myself, I'm just going to tell you some of the things that came up for me when I did the first round of goals, okay? I had things like I want to make a certain amount of money. I want to be able to provide security. I want to be able to reach the world. I want to be able to have a certain level of impact. And all those things are really good and are a great first step. Lisa says she wants to scale her business. Okay. That's good. That's a good goal, Lisa.
Thank you.
That's a good goal. But it's not good enough. Because that I want to scale my business. That's to me, a very sanitized, safe goal from a very mental place. And to be able to tap into this kind of raw energy, we got to throw mental to the side and we got to go into something that is a little bit more primal. Oya Kali says sustainability. Okay, that's a good first round safe goal. So now we're going to go and try this again. We want to talk about how you would feel once you're able to achieve this goal of scaling your business and this goal of sustainability. And when you can tap into those feelings, okay, those raw emotions. So for me, I had a certain revenue criteria. I want to make this amount of money. But what did that really mean to me? It meant to me that I'd be able to prove everybody wrong that had ever doubted me. It meant to me that I would be able to buy things that I always wanted to buy. It meant to me that I would be able to get my nails done when I want to. I'd be able to get my hair done when I want to. I could be the sexy that I know that I am. It meant a lot more to me that resonated on a really primal level. And it wasn't until I tapped into that level of why I wanted to do something that I really, really started manifesting towards those goals. So I want to scale my business. Why, Lisa? How would that make you feel?
Oh, right. See, you guys are getting, all right. This is all about transparency. I want to scale my business, and Rod knows this is because I want to be able to do world school with my son.
And what does that mean to you as a mother?
As a mother, it's like my everything. I was here late last night in my office. He was with me. You see him in the background. Like, it is imperative that he knows his time here on a Sunday at 2:00, 2:20 on a Sunday, when he asked me this morning and said, I just want to lay in bed with you. And I said, I got to go to work. You got to go with me to the office. For what it means to me, for the people that may say, no, you got to keep your son. I can't do it. I can't come pick him up. I can. I say to myself, it's all good. He's my son. I'll do it.
Right. So you are able to tap into a feeling of reward, a feeling of pride, a feeling of it's all worth it, a feeling of he chose me as his mama for the right damn reason.
Hello, that part.
My son chose me for a reason. I got to prove this to him. So when you can start to tap into the feeling, what you get to feel by accomplishing that goal. Then you're getting to your raw power, okay? And we've been taught that that's wrong, it's taboo, you shouldn't focus on that, that's not the PC thing to do. Man, listen, I better get off of that. So that's one aspect of this. So Rashida says, Ashe.
Ashe.
Oya's still on here. I want to hear what that sustainability, creating that sustainability, what she gets to feel on the other side of that. So that's one of the keys, okay? Tapping into what you get to feel after you accomplish something, okay? This work is all about feeling. It's about feeling. It's not about mentalization. We talk about this. The mental energy is a masculine energy. But everything that we're moving towards is tapping into the divine feminine. Oya says she needs automated income. She wants to feel free to live life on a beach. And there is nothing wrong with that. There is everything right with that, Oya. Hold that feeling and tap into it. Okay. Okay. All right, Lisa.
I like that. I like what she said, and I love this because that's actually one of the, Rod knows this, that's actually one of the techniques we use in the workbook for the course. She said, I need automated income. That is very contrary to what society says about need, using that word need. They, about it being taboo to need something, right? Because need is also equated with desire as well. And we covered that before. So this is exactly what Ra is showing you all, is that tapping into the feeling and the emotion to say, it is okay for me to need. It is okay for me to desire. It's okay.
We have been taught and conditioned through our entire lives, especially people that look like you and I, that we are not to need anything and that having a need is a sign of weakness. And we judge people that are okay with speaking up for their needs. In the Spirit of Business mini course, we do a whole module on you going into and identifying your needs, and not just identifying your needs, but being okay with asking for them and being open to receive them. Okay. So it's levels to this. It's levels to this transformation. But that's one of the beautiful things about this course, is that we don't just show people and talk about these concepts. We take you through the journey of uncovering some of these things, of walking you through the process of how do you identify, how do you really resonate with these things that you need, that you put on the back shelf for so long.
So I just love how we are so in sync. I really do. And it's so interesting. If you guys have watched the story and the evolution, you can, and I just have to say this so that we're very clear why we're doing this, right? There is an end goal for doing the Spirit of Business lives, because the end goal is to get you to a space and a place where you are fulfilled and you're winning. It's so very profound to me that our connection, Ra and I, is merging the left and the right brain, right? The emotion and the logical. I'm all mental, which is why I can do, right? I'm very conscientious of my words and stuff like that. I will rewrite and reprogram and do, where she, even as one of my spiritual advisors and part of my love circle, and also one of the co-creators of the course, says to me, that's wonderful. But how does it make you feel?
I say that all the time. How do you feel, Lisa? When he said feel.
How do you feel? Do you not know? That is a very profound question. I also have I have a degree in psychology and finance, people and money. So I'm all about the mind, along with my natal chart, right? So when you look at, well, what makes you guys qualified? What makes you ladies qualified to do this? One It's all in our natal charts, our birth charts. It's in our deck of cards. It's in our, look, we're very clear of the path, and we're owning to share this with you. We're owning that the gift we came with is to do this. My last name is Puerto, means port. I'm a portal. I'm allowing you to pass through. I'm a conduit. I own that. I own that. All right, I'm gonna get off my soapbox.
So hey, Rashida just got real with some of her needs. She says, I have so many. I want to feel financial freedom. Let that burden of inadequacy go. Ooh, a burden of inadequacy. That's real. That's raw, Rashida. That's raw. Tap into that. Tap into what that burden means to you, and tap into what letting go of that burden feels like on the other side. And she did. She says an ability to give to her seeds, education, creative arts exposure, generational wealth, free the hood, buy shoes without checking the price tag. Boom.
Be very specific. Absolutely. Specificity rules the subconscious.
Terry says, wow, I love this share. Thank you, Terry. So it's about tapping into your pleasure principle. What brings you pleasure and feeling good about it. So there is a sensuality component to it. There is actually a sexuality component to it. We don't have to go too much into those, but I do want to talk about the sensuality, because when you can start to really tap into sensuality, and what do I mean by sensuality? Sensuality is literally being able to experience life with the fullness of your senses. So whether that's sensuality in nature, I get sensuality in solving calculus problems, because that just, I feel good.
I just shared with you. So you got my text that came in at 2:00 in the morning, my time. I was hella sensual. Like, yo, I just got this great idea in my industry. I'm just going to change things, right? Yes. And I'm all in that. And it's so funny that I won't give all my techniques and secrets in terms of how I get things done. But let me say this. It has absolutely a lot to do with being sensual. Absolutely.
That sounds like some magic right there, Lisa.
It is. I tell you, there's some, when I've shared this with both men and women in my intimate circle, they look at me like, what? You really? Yo, there's so much power around sensuality.
Absolutely. And the thing about it is, when you're talking about creating something that people connect with, if you can't allow yourself to feel yourself and what makes you feel good, how do you expect somebody else to feel you? Like, that's what you really have to remember. Like, people are only going to give you back what you are able to give to yourself. And that's not just in business. That's in relationships. It's with your children. That's in everything.
Right.
Terry, I'm still in Fort Worth, love. I am, yeah. Rashida says, yes, me too, Rob. I love math. It's cathartic, girl. We should do some word problems together sometime.
That is so funny. That's funny, and that's really cute, because you share that the things that excite you. How do you do more of that?
Right. So that's a challenge we can put out. We always like to give a challenge every time we come on. I think for this week, I want to challenge the listeners and the viewers to allow more sensuality into their life, more sensuality, to really pay attention to what feels good to them and what doesn't, and to begin to honor more of those things too. Because I promise you, you're doing a lot of things that don't feel good, and they don't feel good for a reason, because your emotions are your guideposts, and they're telling you that's not where you need to be. But you're so caught up in the shoulda, woulda, shouldas that you ignore what's really the message is really being sent to you.
Right. So concerned with societal projections, right? I did a post about this earlier this week where I shared on just kind of how people end up having this midlife crisis, right? Part of that has to do with signing on to other people's projections of what you should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get to a stage and a place in your life where now you have this mature sense of wisdom, and you say, well, I deserve to have this. I need to have this. I need to do this. It now counters what people said you should have and need to do. And then people go, oh my gosh, he's having a midlife crisis or she's having a midlife crisis. No, you're doing what you want to do that you owed yourself to do 20 years ago.
Halfway through your life that you've been denying yourself. Midlife crisis is the Uranus return, and Uranus is the planet of revolution. So Uranus come back around every 41 years to shake your ass up. Like, what you've been doing? You've been ignoring your needs and your pleasure for the past years. Go get that sports car.
Right.
That's what
Go
play.
And we hear that all the time. Go get that. Go. And this is you. Why repress desires?
And let's talk about how those desires get repressed. But first, we got some comments, and I'm grateful for everybody that's on here. 7 C's says truth. I'm a sensual being, and it goes hand in hand with spirituality. Absolutely. One and the same creative force. Absolutely. Terry says, this broadcast is so needed in my life. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Stephonia says, that's it. The perception of the nature of logic, what people think you should be doing. And people have so many thoughts about what we should be doing. A lot of it is based on patriarchy. And so a lot of this feeling we're conditioned to believe that it's not important, because if you're not doing something, if you're not getting numbers, if you're not getting results, if you're not driving for results, and you're taking time to stop and smell the flowers or enjoy the sunset or listen to some soothing music or nurture yourself, then they say that that's useless. They say that you waste time and that's useless. So we got to really get over these conceptions about what we should be doing.
I just love that. See, I love that this is resonating with you all, especially because it just reiterates what's not happening in the open. The raw conversations, the raw nature. Everyone is, what was your words? You said we're cleaning it up. Sanitizing it. We're sanitizing it. And this goes, and even, so let's think about how that relates to your brand, your service, your product, is that when you're resonating from that space, it's so funny that I saw someone wrote a book, and it had like the word booty in it, naked something, and it had to do with business. Or there's a book called Sex, Branding is Sex, right? There's a reason why those industries make so much money, because they're tapping into that power of sensuality, the taboo. We're going to read it in our ebooks on our phone. We're going to order it. We don't want people to know that we're doing it, especially because currently we are in the United States. And so that overall tends to be that cloud that covers a lot of the people here. Whereas if you travel outside the country, which my family is not native to this country, I'm very privy to some very natural cultural norms in sensuality, sexuality, being curvaceous, sexual innuendos, things of that sort, and being able to translate that into intelligent conversations or witty comebacks.
Absolutely. And we talk about this in the course. I love it. We talk about the shift in business consciousness, and I'm not going to go too deep, but this is one of the major indicators in how this shift is showing up.
Witty comebacks.
Uh-oh. Because we're not talking about this in the course. I love it. Is that your about the shift in business consciousness? And I'm not going to go too deep. Is that your playback, Lisa?
Yeah, it's because I actually, so my bad. Muwasi dropped something that I want to comment, and I'm going to now quote you because I was like, so I'm like going to type, and then it clicked it, so it's creating a playback. But he says real quick, passion is attractive in an impotent world.
Ooh, Muwasi. That's deep.
That is so deep.
Passion is not only attractive, but it's so necessary. It's like people thirst for it.
Yeah.
Because everything else is so sterile. They thirst for any kind of real sense of fire.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. 7C says they tap into your underlying desires. It's thought out all the way to what certain colors make you feel. Absolutely. Absolutely. And there, I'm glad you keyed in on that word feeling. So what are some of the reasons, when we start to look at why this energy gets repressed? I think it's really important. If we're going to bring people and tell them this is something that they need to be tapping into, we need to really kind of bring it full circle and let them know why you haven't been able to tap into it up until this point, if that makes any sense. I think a lot of it has to do with, of course, the conditioning that we've been taught. I think a lot of it has to do with sexual trauma, not just in women, but in men. I think that if you've ever experienced any kind of trauma related to your sensuality and your sexuality, and I can speak to this from my experiences with my clients, it causes you to completely shut that area of your expression down. It wasn't safe in the past. So if you are a business owner and entrepreneur, and you have issues with sexual trauma, this is something you're going to have to resolve before you can take your business to the next level. Absolutely.
Powerful. Like if you didn't get that, please listen again. Rewind that part right there, because when you start to wonder why your creativity is stuck, guess where creative force comes from?
It's all the same. It's all the same. It's all sacral energy. I think beyond sexual trauma, look at your current relationship. Okay, this energy is all about control, and we know in relationships, whoever has the lowest sexual desire has control. It's either whoever got the lowest desire for sex or whoever got the most money has control in the relationship. We know that women use that holding out technique to get what they want. Okay?
That just drives me nuts when I hear that. That's not what I don't. Let me just finish my thought. It just drives me nuts when I hear women doing that, because I have a lot of male associates, colleagues, and friends that have openly shared what that does. And they openly will say, oh, okay, you're not going to do it?
You're openly admitting that you don't know your power.
Right.
You're confessing right there. I don't have any sense of my real power. Because if you did, then you would know how to wield that power, how to wield that thing, and get what you want.
Woo! I think this is another class.
What is your raw nature? It's your raw nature.
It is. You're absolutely right. It is. It is very, very, because guess what? That energy is what magnetizes money to me. It's because I'm in that raw nature where I exude that. Why? Because I'm a woman that is satisfied and fulfilled in that arena and area of my life.
Shout out to the satisfiers out there who are shout out to the men who recognize the importance of keeping magnetizers satisfied and of honoring the sensual and sexual needs of their magnetizers. If you don't understand the role that your woman plays in your relationship and in your success as a magnetizer of all things good and bad, you slipping. You need to go back to 101.
And absolutely, men use it too. You're right. They do use it, because I was in a relationship like that once upon a time, that when it was withheld from me, I would cry.
Wow.
I would cry. It caused frustration. And now it blocks my money, my creativity, my productivity. Why? Because I'm using the co-creative energy and it was being used against me now.
That's treason.
That's treason, right?
Treason. Livonia said, y'all showing up and going in deep. Thank you, Mama. So, yes, that is treason, Lisa.
Needless to say, that relationship is no longer serving its purpose. So moved on.
Or perhaps it did serve its purpose. And
it did serve its purpose. Absolutely.
But that was not where you needed to be. So, let's see. I think that, so we've given the challenge of feeling more, of being more sensual. I think that it's also important if you can really look at how this is a question that I posed to one of my friends this week. I actually posed this to one of my previous lovers because I wanted to get a real feel of what my sensual energy looks and feels like. So I asked him, I said, give me 5 words to describe my sensuality. And it's not necessarily my sex, it's that magnetism, that allure, what drew you in. Help me frame this up so that I can know how to use this in business. It is power, okay? Whether you want to own up to it or not. Miss Steph creates, she's a beautiful herbalist that this Metroplex has ever seen, and she creates these beautiful body products. Miss Jack's Body Food. Her sensuality is her connection with the flowers, her connection with nature. She wears a beautiful with a flower in her hair every time you see her. She posts flowers of the day. She's the beautiful, graceful. I mean, I see her as she is the Garden of Eden when I see her. And so it doesn't have to be overtly sexual, right. But that's how her sensuality is expressed in a very natural way.
Right. So, I would, and I just want to do the other side, just to represent our masculine. I'm going to tap into my part. We all have our feminine and masculine divine energies. And I'm just going to go with what attracts and what comes off as charming when I look at professionals, entrepreneurs, men, and we see that, right? So we'll see that charm in the way they're expressing themselves with, albeit cultural pieces, right? Things that represent a certain scent. That's why the perfume cologne industries and the oils industries are so prominent and they're so huge. One of the violin artists that I follow just released his own cologne line. No surprise, because his team is tapping off of his sensuality of how he plays the violin. There is something very sensual about that. So he now has his cologne. So men, you express that in identify those 5 ways. And I think that's a great challenge, Ra. I mean, I have an idea, and I think that is one of the best ways, is to ask those who are experiencing you what that looks like. So that's CTA for this week, you guys and you gals, brothers and sisters. CTA is the call to action, because it's not just about watching us and dialoguing and having a feel-good conversation. I will tell you, share with you right now, that is not what we're about. Is about feel-good conversations, because you can't do anything with feel-good conversations.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Wendy Jones is like, Jamie Escobar, you knew exactly who I was talking about. Yes. See? And she's following him, right? So she knows.
Wendy on it. You don't even know. Wendy on it. Mr. Fonia says, it serves its purpose, whether it defines, stunts, or grows you in spirit. It challenges your sensuality to understand your connection to the universe. Absolutely. Beautiful words. Beautiful words. And she also says she's so honored. Thank you for the acknowledgement. You know, I thank you for being here and for your energy, because you are, I mean, just a perfect embodiment of someone who is really walking and living and using, leveraging their sensual nature. So my honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah.
we got the call to action, y'all. Reach out to them exes.
Right. So, and it's okay, because you just brought it up. I just wanted to make sure that I did catch it correctly, because you said friend, previous lover. And I was like, good for you. My growth, and this is where folks who are listening to me get to see another side of me. My growth actually is that I no longer do what I used to call Black Widow, my former partners. Like, I would one and done, I'm on. I mean, there's no reason. But then I got to a space and place in my life, and I said, Lisa, don't do that. That's not nice. You don't eat them up. And
let me just tell you why that's making me laugh so hard. Because one of his descriptors was like, being with you is like being with the Black Widow and living to tell about it the next day.
Okay, see, this is that sister connect that we have, that I've evolved. I'm an evolving human being, the spiritual being having this human experience. And I've gotten to a space and place where I mean, I now have worked with, I've sold them properties. I'm consulting them. I am their go-to expert, you know, whereas in the past, yo, hey, why you don't even look my way. Don't call me. So I think that is absolutely wonderful, because yes, oftentimes I've gotten the phone calls that said, you know, I wasn't ready. They would refer to themselves saying they weren't ready for me. Mm-hmm. It wasn't about me. And so that was learning that in moving on in the progression and the relationships and the exchanges of energy that we are having with our partners and people in general, because we're all exchanging energy right now on this Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi, mobile data that exactly. I'm laughing at that too, 7Cs. Exactly. And living to say it. And so yes, I share that to say, I share all of that to say that is a wonderful space to be, that you can now connect with another adult and not be in an angry space and say, I have learned this from you, right? And that oftentimes comes in the form of how to discuss with someone, how to touch someone, how to exchange with someone. And same applies with business. I just consulted with a client yesterday. My central nature is, guess what? I'm learning exactly what I need and desire in my life. I infuse it in my business. A couple who's going through something, kind of a target of a scam, I relate with them. And one of the things that I did was to identify with the husband and say, do you have any comments, questions, or feedback?
Mm. You honor his needs.
Yes. because he said, I'm angry that I put us, my wife and myself, in this situation. He said, I am mad at myself. So he's carrying that, which means I now have to be very sensitive to the emotion that is very real to him and say, I acknowledge it. How can I support you in transferring that? And he said, do I have to still talk to these people? No, unless you want to, but now I've stepped in as your advocate.
Beautiful. I mean, that's like textbook. There you have it. That's how you make this real. That's how you make all this frou fluff. You know, none of this is fluff. Let me take that back. But that's how you make these intangible things real in your business and in your goals. Okay, you tap into not only your needs and how you want to on the other side, but the needs of your clients and how they need to feel on the other side. If you can answer that and provide that for them, they're with you for life.
For life.
For life.
For life. And that's what we want. Referral business is a form of currency. Unless you're trying to do one-time transactions, just that's the thing about when we're saying we need money, automated income, or Z money, you have to first learn how to identify what currency is. Mm-hmm. All right, we're getting ready to wrap up. I trust you all found value in this, and be sure to stay connected, subscribe, share, like, repost. See us in the course. Like, we're so excited about this because this is genuinely being born and really being a response out of what the desire of the collective mind is, what I want to call it, right? And when we are shifting into this energy where people are so done with the fake and the imposters and those who are not genuine, they will not survive in this next round. And I promise you that, which is why we're saying don't get caught up in the amateur trending and seeing what other people are doing and being a bad copy of that.
Absolutely. You don't have to be. You don't have to be. And if you have up until this point, forgive yourself and move on to the real you. Okay?
spiritedbusinesscourse.com. Make sure you check out the promo video. Really, really powerful. Very exciting. And there's more to come from that. So thank you all. Thank you all. I see just peace and blessings from 7C. And Rashida says extreme value. Oya says amplifying receptivity on all levels. Yes, love. Okay, I feel so fired up, rejuvenated. So that's when you know it's real, because you have more energy.
Into our raw power today.
Completely.
What can I say?
That's what it is. Exactly. It is the raw. It is the raw. Rob Bay and Lisa P. All right, y'all. Peace. Ashe.